ch1. You are listening at famvetv.info. A horse-drawn carriage slowly drove into Gushui village. Many villagers stopped to look at it. The carriage in the village is a rare thing, only the rich people living in the town could afford to use it. Having an ox-pulled flatbed carriage in the village is good enough to show off. The man driving the carriage was certainly not from their village. As they were thinking this, the carriage suddenly stopped and a young man wearing a white silk cloth jumped off from the carriage. He walked to one of the villager, arched hand and cup a fist salute, show a smile, said. This big brother, excuse me, can I ask how to go to Wang grandfather/s home? The man who was asked froze. Oh my God. This man was so handsome. If he hadn't been taller than him and didn't had a mark on his brow, that villager would think he is a gr. The young man who had not received an answer, seemed accustomed to such situation, not angry, but asked again in a good temper. The villager came back to his senses and was a bit embarrassed to look at the man. What a shame for him to be in a daze when looking at this gentleman. If you looking for Master Wang, you ll have to go to the town. He doesn't live in the village now. The young man shook his head and said, I am not looking for anyone. I bought his family s courtyard in the village, but I don't know where it is in the village, please tell me. The villager didn't respond, but he still pointed in the right direction. You follow this road to the fork of the road, turn north, then found the fifth house in front of you. The young man looked in the direction he pointed, turned back and thanked him, then returned to his cart and drove his carriage to that place. As soon as the young man left, some villagers came around to inquire about the situation. The man who scratched his head foolishly said. This guy said he bought the Wang family s yard. As soon as this remark came out, the villagers were gossiping and discussing it. This man is going to settle in the village, He drove a carriage, wore silk clothes, and bought the Wang family s large brick courtyard. He must be a rich man, right? Moreover, he is that handsome. But they do not know whether he is married or not. If not, people with unmarried daughters in their families are starting to have second thoughts that he was unaware that just by asking for directions, someone was already thinking of marrying his daughter to him, while he was leisurely driving his carriage to the place. Compared to the mud houses next to him, the black and blue brick courtyard of the Wang family was very conspicuous and easy to find. That he jumped off the cart and patted the horse s head to reassure him to stay put. When he reached the door, he took out a brass key from his pocket and unlocked it. There was a large courtyard, very spacious, with a hall directly opposite, a main room on each side of the hall, a kitchen on the left, 2 ear rooms on the right, and a path leading to the backyard next to the kitchen, where the chicken coop and cowshed and latrine were located. There is also an enclosed vegetable plot and a well, and 4 back rooms. You can tell that the previous owner had a good life and had everything he needed. The Wang family was not a wealthy family in the village, but their son was a hard worker and made a lot of money running a business outside the village with a big boss. When the son was away from home all the year round, he was worried about his parents and renovated the old house, using all strong bricks and tiles, so that the 2 old people could live more comfortably. Who knows that not even past 2 years, he opened a shop in the town, bought a house, and took his parents around him, so he could take care of them, leaving the house in the village empty. Chiyu is very satisfied with the house. The house was built with high walls, unlike the other houses in the village, which were mostly surrounded by mud or with low walls made of mud, so that one could see clearly what was going on inside. Is anyone there? As soon as Chiyu turned back to the front yard, he heard a man s voice coming from the door. He walked to the door and saw a square-faced man standing there with a hoe on his back. Look at him, froze, obviously. Thinking that he should be from the village, Chiyu saluted him with a cup hand gesture and smile. This big brother, is there any problem? Nothing, nothing. The man waved his hands back, his dark face flushed red. I'm sorry, I saw a carriage parked at the door and the courtyard door was open, so I thought the Wang family had returned. Actually Chi Yu is not very concerned, it /s okay, this humble one is Chi Yu, since I /ll be living here from now on, we /re all folks now. That /s good. The man saw that he was not bothered and very easy to get along with, so he wasn't /t so nervous anymore. When he heard that he would be staying here, he was very enthusiastic. My name is Lin Sheng, I live next door to you, and you can call me if you need anything from now on. It turned out to be Brother Lin, Lin de Gu. Chi Yu saw his straightforward nature and his smile grew a little thicker, so you /v just moved in here today, have you? I /ll put the hose down when I get home and I will bring my wife over to help you clean up. Lin Sheng is a warm-hearted person, thinking of such a big yard for him to clean alone, that is quite hard. This is not good to bother Brother Lin. Chi Yu politely declined, as they hadn't /t even spoken a few words, so it was not appropriate, no trouble, no trouble. It /s only a matter of the exertion of the strength. I /ll come right away. Lin Sheng waved his hand at him, turned his head and left without giving him a chance to say no. Chi Yu shook his head helplessly and laughed. This was the first time he had ever met anyone who acted like this, and it was interesting. He pulled the carriage into the courtyard and reached out to groom the horse /s sideburns, Mu Yan, this place will be our home from now on. The horse stamped its front hooves, as if in response to his words that he moved his hand to his cheek and stroked it twice, and the smile at the corner of his mouth began to turn a little nasty. In the morning I have to find a carpenter in the village to make a plow. The 5 acres of land I bought will be handed over to you. Mu Yan shook its head and snorted with great dissatisfaction, he. Chi Yu let out a deep and low laugh voice and patted its head with a face full of pleasure. What /s the matter that made this brother Chi smiled so happily. Lin Sheng walked in from the outside door, followed by a delicate woman, nothing, just teasing the horse. Chi Yu put down his hand to greet the woman, and said to the woman, pardon for troubling the sister. Lol. Please do not say that, we will be neighbors and folks in the future, so we should help each other out. The woman /s demeanor was also generous and unpretentious, matching Lin Sheng /s temperament. This horse of yours is really spirited. After seeing that they had greeted each other, Lin Sheng turned his attention to Mu Yan. It /s much better than the ones I saw in town, it has more great spirit. It is indeed a good horse. Mu Yan as a horse of 1,000 miles, it was very spiritual and had been with him for years, like a good friend. By the topic of horses, the two chatted a few words, and then they began to prepare for clean-up. In fact, there is really nothing much to do in this courtyard that need a lot of effort, only need to clean up all the dust accumulated when it is uninhabited for some days, and then put all the things Chi Yu had bought home. The author has something to say. It /s my first time writing a story, so I am not very good at it. Listen to the full novel at famvetv.info, direct link in the description.